Hey y'all, welcome back to the Slavs Table. It's been a while, a few weeks, as I teased in my previous video and in the community posting I made a little while ago. I did attend the GBACW gathering in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, about a week and a half ago. I was there for the first weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Had a blast. Finally got to meet Jeff from Hex to Hex and Alan of Camp Sawyer, and I really enjoyed that. And the highlight for me was spending 2 days playing the three dog full battle, but I was not playing it with the series rules, standard series rules. I was playing it with the new simple GBACW rules as designed by Nathan Mueller. Nathan was there for that first weekend as well, so he was fantastic in providing us help and on the spot rules questions whenever we had them. We had a group of 5 of us there, I think it was, for the first weekend that I was there. Shout out to John and Mike and Richard, and a big shout out to Drew, who was sort of the proctor of the whole thing and kept that game running. We had people sort of cycling in and out. I spent both days playing some portion of the Confederate forces, usually either half of Third Corps, or once Ewell started reaching the battlefield, I basically just took over Third Corps. When I left on Sunday evening, we had already gotten to the 4 p.m. turn on the first day, and that was maybe doing 6 hours of day of actual play. So as you can see, you can move through much faster with the battle with the simple rolls than you do with the standard series rolls. And of course, we had people stopping and asking questions because a few of us, including me, were not really, certainly not experts on the simple rolls, but they really do play much faster. So what do I have on my table right now? You can see that it is the Battle of Newmarket from the Death Valley GBACW game, but this is not going to be with the standard series rules. This is going to be a playtest with the simple rules. Some playtest materials from the simple GBACW 4-pack that is currently on order from GMT. This 4-pack, as the name suggests, will include battle books rendering the simple scenario information from 4 previous games. Those would be By Swords and Bayonets, Death Valley, as well as the Battles for Shenandoah expansion from Death Valley, Into the Woods, covering the Battle of Shiloh, and the Cedar Mountain battle from Twin Peaks. They're only including Cedar Mountain, my understanding is because South Mountain is going to be included in the new updated version of Gleam of Bayonets, which is still probably down the road a few years from now at this point. So Cedar Mountain will be the final battle included in that simple GBACW 4-pack. So it's going to include the battle books that will give the specialized scenario information to put all these battles in the simple format, some counter sheets, standard series counters, as well as homogenized battery counters that are used in simple GBACW, player aid cards, and so forth. So that is on P500 with GMT right now. Go ahead and make that P500 order for that so you can get it much more cheaply than you can if you wait till it's full retail. And I believe they're probably looking at trying to get this out sometime next year. So as I said, playtesting is still going on. This is going to be a playtest that I've done for Newmarket. So let me get you up to speed on what's going on so far. I played the first turn, the 1100 turn. And what happened is we had the Union forces. You had Moore filling in as division commander for Sullivan, as well as commanding his own brigade. They were initially spaced out a little more on this terrain here in between Newmarket and this wood belt. And Wincoop's cavalry brigade had initially been deployed along this road. And the Confederate forces to start were only Breckenridge and 2 artillery batteries that were right here on top of Shirley's Hill. Playing out the 11 a.m. turn, what happened is both of Breckenridge's division's brigades, commanded by Patton and Wharton, came on the field. Initially, I had them just moving with Patton in front, Wharton behind in support. They were going to go after the Union forces that are already deployed here along the river road. But then I got the great idea, why don't I take Wincoop's brigade? I was initially considering having them move along either through Newmarket or around the edge of it and then trying to hit the Confederates in this flank. But then I decided, why not just have them come along that road through that little wooded gully and have them hit the Confederates on this side. I've got much more constricted terrain here where they can sort of seal it off and make more of an impact. So I did that with Wynkoop, and then that forced me as the Confederate to have Wharton wheel to the left to sort of refuse Patton's flank and face this threat here. And then for the rest of the Union forces, we had the rest of Stahels's cavalry division come down the pike. We have one more regiment of actually it's not Moore's brigade, it is Thoburn's brigade coming down the pike. And then way back here, you just can't see it off the edge of the screen here, behind this march marker is another Union artillery battery, as well as Sigel himself marching down the pike. So this is the situation we have at the end of the 11 a.m. turn, and we're getting ready to start noon here. What I plan on doing, and it's a plan at this point, is throw some videos together to sort of explain what happens here in simple GBACW. Have seen on Board Game Geek, there are a few people who are still having some trouble understanding how the activation markers work and some of the fire mechanics. And believe me, I certainly get the activation stuff. Even with Simple, that is probably the one thing that I stumble on. Although what Simple does, which is great in a lot of cases, it does, of course, simplify that activation marker allotment. So sometimes one side will just get a set amount. There is no efficiency mechanic for one side or another, or the efficiency mechanic will be suspended for the first turn or so forth. So I'd be walking through those kinds of things, maybe draw an activation marker or two and show you those mechanics as far as the movement, attack movement, fire, shock, combat, or charge combat go. So that'll be my plan for this. So now that we understand where we're starting off here, I'll post some videos coming up about play-by-play of the action here in Death Valley. So I'll leave it here for now. I do also want to thank everybody who has subscribed recently. Got myself over that massive 100 subscribers mark, so I'm thankful for that. Continue to get the word out, please. If you haven't already, subscribe. If you like what I'm doing, hit that like button, and I will see you all later. Bye.